Plopville, Arkansas, was the kind of town that sounded like the punchline to a joke nobody finished. It had 1 traffic light, 2 churches, and exactly 0 Starbucks, which made it a hotbed for conspiracy theorists, raccoon cultists, and folks who insisted they'd been abducted at least twice, maybe 3 times, but who's countin'? And in the middle of this sleepy chicken-fried paradise lived Carl Butters, ex-used car salesman, part-time radio DJ, and full-time believer that aliens had better taste in music than humans. Carl's morning routine was sacred. Wake up at 9:37 a.m. sharp, brush his teeth with whiskey mouthwash, and host Carl's Cosmic Corner on KFUQ 89.9 FM, the most unpopular talk show in all of southern Arkansas, mostly because Carl insisted on broadcasting with a tinfoil hat and a chicken named Nugget as his co-host. It was a Thursday, and everything was just weird enough. Carl was halfway through ranting about how Elon Musk was definitely a Martian love child when Nugget flapped his wings and let out a squawk that echoed like a banshee with bronchitis. And then came the sound. It wasn't a plane, or a chopper, or even the high school marching band practicing too close to the grain silo again. No, it was a hum, low and eerie, like a didgeridoo mating with a chainsaw. The kind of sound that makes your belly button twitch. Carl dashed outside, his tinfoil hat bouncing like a trampoline on his head. Nugget clucked after him, eyes wide. And there it was, floating above the Piggly Wiggly parking lot, a massive, rotating UFO shaped like a giant barbecue grill. Glowing green smoke puffed from its exhaust vents. Carl blinked. "Hot diggity fried cornbread," he muttered. "They finally came for the ribs." Part 2. We come in sauce. The first alien to descend was unexpected. She looked like a jellyfish in cowboy boots and a bedazzled fanny pack. She floated to the ground like she was late for a hoedown, carrying a sparkly megaphone and what appeared to be a rubber spatula. "People of Earth," she boomed. "We come in sauce." Carl tilted his head. "You mean peace?" "No," she said, dead serious. "Sauce. Barbecue sauce. Spicy nebulan tang, to be precise." Behind her, more aliens emerged, all wearing aprons, wielding tongs, and looking aggressively ready to grill something. The townsfolk of Plopville didn't know what to do, until Mayor Hilda Butterbean stepped up, holding a crockpot and wearing a suspiciously patriotic apron. "Well," she said, squinting, "far be it from us to be rude. Somebody fire up the coals." Mayor Hilda Butterbean didn't need to think twice. She slammed her crockpot onto the hood of her Corvette, as you do in Plopville, grabbed a pair of tongs from Ernest Grill apprentice Billy Joe, and declared, "If they want our best barbecue, we'll give 'em our best barbecue." The aliens blinked their gelatinous eyes in unison. Spectacular, thought Carl, they understand sarcasm. Soon, the Piggly Wiggly parking lot had transformed into the most raucous cookout this side of the Milky Way. Locals unloaded gas grills, charcoal barbecues, even a dubious hibachi borrowed from Mrs. Crenshaw, who warned them that her grill mystically attracts raccoons. Meanwhile, the floating jellyfish alien in cowboy boots, introducing herself, rather formally, as Saucy Prime, set up a neon sign reading "Nebulan Barbecue Challenge" in indecipherable intergalactic script. Billy Joe hustled over to Carl. "You really think this is a good idea?" he whispered, flipping a suspiciously slimy pork rib. Carl smirked under his tinfoil hat. "Son, in Plopville, any day you host aliens is a good day. Besides, I'm betting one of us ends up abducted, or at least on YouTube." As the grills glowed, townspeople offered their secret family sauces. Mrs. McAllister's Molten Molasses Mojo, so sweet it'll make your teeth file for divorce. Ellie Mae's Firecracker Fiesta, warning, may cause spontaneous interpretive dance. Sheriff Tom's Double-Barrel Bourbon Blast, tenacious enough to hold off a bank robber if he could taste it without crying. Saucy Prime inspected each entry with a sensor-laden spatula that beeped approvingly or gurgled ominously. When she reached Mayor Butterbean's Patriotic Piggy Delight, she twirled her fanny pack's holographic fringe and declared it a solid 6.4 on the Z-scale, which in alien terms meant not bad for Earth pigs. The contest reached a fever pitch when Carl unveiled his piece de resistance, Cosmic Chicken Surprise, barbecue chicken marinated in whiskey, ginger, and a dash of Nugget's own clucks. Nugget graciously donated his DNA, or something like it. The aroma spiraled upward, causing Saucy Prime's antennae to shimmy. Moments later, Saucy Prime plucked a drumstick, took a cosmic-sized bite, and Her eyeball glowed bright green. The entire parking lot froze. "Fascinating," she rasped, her voice echoing with newfound depth. "Your chicken has activated the neural receptors of my species. You have inadvertently," she paused dramatically, tentacles twitching, "upgraded us." A collective gasp rose. Carl swallowed. "Upgraded? You mean better? Faster? Smarter?" "Smarter," Saucy Prime confirmed, eyes narrowing. "Earth flavors. Elevate the mind." Suddenly, the other aliens pulled out what looked like silver skewers and started sampling everything in sight. Coleslaw, baked beans, even Mrs. Crenshaw's ethically questionable raccoon kebabs. With each bite, their color shifted from teal to a radiant lavender. They moved with uncanny coordination, whispering in rhythm. "Oh boy," muttered Carl. "We just taught them how to barbecue, and they're about to teach us how to get served." Within minutes, the leader of their contingent, an imposing four-armed creature named General Chargrill, rose atop the hood of the mayor's Corvette. "People of Plopville," he boomed in perfect English, "they must have absorbed the airwaves. We, the Nebulan Empire, hereby declare this planet the official barbecue capital of the galaxy." A cheer erupted from the crowd. After all, who wouldn't want that title? But before anyone could pop a cork of moonshine, General Chargrill's expression darkened. "However," he continued, "we have tasted your sauces and discovered untapped power. Henceforth, we demand exclusive rights to every barbecue pit, smoker, and tray." Billy Joe cut him off. "Hang on there, fella. Exclusive rights? You can't do that." General Chargrill flexed four fists. "We can and we will. Consider yourselves patrons." He flicked a switch on his chest plate and beamed a pulse of green light over the crowd. Immediately, the townsfolk slowed, hands lifting ribs to open mouths on autopilot, eyes glazed, a single unified hum escaping their lips. Carl's tinfoil hat crackled. He felt a slight tug in his thoughts, like gravity had flipped. Nugget clucked frantically. Realizing they were under some kind of sauce-fueled mind spell, Carl grabbed his radio mic. "KFUQ, come in." "Nugget, any chance you understand intergalactic chicken?" Nugget hopped onto the radio, squawked twice, and astonishingly peeped, "Cluck sizzle boop," which Carl translated on air, mostly by intuition. "They want more sauce. They need the recipe to control every pit in the galaxy." As the crowd of barbecue-fied zombies shuffled toward the alien grill station, Carl knew Plopville's only hope lay in an improbable alliance. Himself, Nugget, and the town's crankiest resident, Mrs. Crenshaw, who, rumor had it, once defeated a pack of rabid possums with only her knitting needles. "Mrs. Crenshaw," Carl hissed, sidestepping a hypnotized teen gnawing a cowboy boot, "don't ask. We need the raccoon kickback sauce recipe, the one you said was too dangerous to share." Her eyes gleamed. "So you're finally asking, huh?" She whipped out a battered recipe card. "But this sauce," she glanced at the aliens, "it's got live jalapeno extract. I warned you it might overload them." "Perfect," Carl nodded. "Let's overload them." Climax approaching. As Mrs. Crenshaw squirted the neon-green raccoon kickback onto the coals, a plume of emerald smoke spiraled heavenward. The aliens hissed, dropped their skewers, and one of them, an especially burly creature, coughed tentacles. General Chargrill roared, "Impossible! Your sauce is too powerful." The cobalt sky split with thunder. Nugget seized the moment, flapping wildly to break the mind control on the townsfolk. One by one, they blinked out of their trance, ribs still half-chewed, confusion on every face. Carl barked orders into his mic. "Evacuate the pits. Pour water over the coals." And someone grabbed the county's fire extinguisher, just in case. With the townspeople liberated and the aliens choking on fiery spice, Saucy Prime approached Carl. Her eyes watery, she extended a tentacle in truce. "Human. Carl Butters, your sauces are unrivaled. We yield." Carl accepted the gesture, hand trembling from adrenaline and maybe a shot of leftover bourbon. "All right," he breathed. "Deal, you leave us in peace, and never touch our grills again." Saucy Prime nodded. "Agreed. But one condition." Carl's stomach lurched. "What's that?" She tapped her fanny pack, which popped open to reveal a tiny neon green bottle. You must share this one secret ingredient. Carl stared. Mrs. Crenshaw raised an eyebrow. Nugget fluffed his feathers. It was undeniably the hottest sauce in the universe, and it came in a sample size so small you could lose it behind a grain of rice. Deal, Carl said, glancing at Nugget. But be warned, once you taste it, there's no going back. 3 weeks later, Plopville was the first town in human history to receive an intergalactic Cultural Appreciation Participation Trophy, which came in the form of a 10-foot-tall golden spatula and a slightly used hover tank. Mayor Butterbean parked the spatula in front of the courthouse and suggested making it the town's new flagpole. Sheriff Tom argued it could double as a giant fly swatter. They compromised by mounting it sideways on the old high school gym and calling it public art. Carl Butters, meanwhile, was famous. His radio show, once listened to by maybe 4 lonely truckers and 1 confused raccoon, was now syndicated across 17 planets, 3 moons, and a rogue asteroid named Kevin. The new show title: Carl Butters, Grill Seeker of the Stars. His first episode? A breakdown of the now infamous Sauce Truce, featuring dramatic reenactments performed by hand puppets. Nugget played himself. But even as the town celebrated their new fame with alien-themed cookouts, probe-free zones, and sauce safety classes, something simmered beneath the surface, figuratively and literally. Because that one tiny bottle Saucy Prime had taken the raccoon kickback. She didn't use it to flavor food. Oh no. She weaponized it. A week after the aliens left Earth, Carl received a transmission via his AM radio. To Carl Butters, honored sauce master of Sector 4B, said the voice of Saucy Prime, now wearing what appeared to be a battle cape. Thanks to your Earth spices, we have defeated our ancient rivals, the Dry Rub Dominion. You have unwittingly armed us with the most powerful weapon in the galaxy: moisture. Carl spit out his coffee. We caused a barbecue arms race. The message continued. As thanks, we have named our newest star cruiser the SS Crenshaw. Ah, biscuits, Carl muttered. As if on cue, Mrs. Crenshaw showed up at his porch, brandishing her knitting needles. I told you, she hissed. That sauce was too spicy for peace. Technically, Carl replied, we saved Earth. You started a war with a race called the Dry Rub Dominion. Maybe they'll cool down with some ranch dressing? Just then, a streak of light cut across the Arkansas sky, a Nebulan shuttle doing a flyby, spraying celebratory glitter over the Walmart and accidentally setting off the town's early warning siren, which was just Billy Joe yelling into a megaphone. The alien barbecue war had begun. Plopville had become ground zero for the galaxy's most aggressive culinary diplomacy. And Carl Butters, he just tipped his tinfoil hat, leaned back in his squeaky porch chair, and grinned. Y'all want seconds?